For the last team, I know Frankie would like to see Pink and Vico here. Levin said it himself. I'd say the most consistent duo in terms of not just making it to the late game, but also fragging out in the late game from having so many options on the low ground. The issue is they can get them really high up on the leaderboard, but what they want is that VR. But Skrill scrapped right now with already one elim off the bat, putting themselves in a position where they have the upper hand against Zangi here. All they really have to do is close it out with a couple shots, and that's a very strong way to start this last match.
Yeah, just with ease, they're able to take him out. They claim it as himself. 2 eliminations brings them up to 24 points. They still have a long road ahead of them if they're going to get into that top 25. But the Thunderbolt of Zeus from downtown Classy Courts coming in that direction. I don't think they're going to follow up on that damage, but you do see where it came from in the minimap.
That looked crazy too. I mean, the Thunderbolt has some insane effects, especially in that last throw. It was Mafia. No, it was not. We are
no, it might have been
far away. It could have been. I mean, could have dropped it. It was actually. Just got confirmation.
Ooh, Malabuka in the feed. He's taking down the Andy this time around. But with how contested Grim Gates actually was, I'm not sure that's too much of an opening for them. You see the second team already there, a third and a fourth in the distance. The lucky thing for them is the fact that Trippin and Fordoxy, even though they don't land exactly at Grim Gates, they land at the outskirts, are no longer going to interrupt this fight. So it is at the minimum one less team to worry about.
But there's still a lot to worry about, Jacob.
Yeah.
Not only the 3 duos that are landing at Grim Gate, also the third party. But wait a minute. That third party is no longer here. For Doxy and Trip were the duo that were kind of bullying the last team standing at Grim Gate. So now that they've already qualified, they are no longer going to be third partying here. So Kentic and Finn are up against Malabuka and Merstash, and it's more of an even fight here though. But you can see Bevy's close by.
There's so many teams going in this direction. You got Velry, who's already a solo, kind of hunkering down by the reboot van. A couple of teams moving over in this direction. Merstash and Malabuka, they've already taken one team out, and they're looking to take out Finn next, but Underworld dashes. A third-party interruption from Pablo and Bevies is going to allow a couple of seconds here for them to try to disengage and get out alive. And same thing could be said for Malabuka and Merstash, because if you look at their loadout, look at the inventory, not a ton of heals to share between the two.
They got to play this right here. We can see a replay on how they started off with that initial elimination you spotted out on the feed. But being the last match, I know that Malabuka and Merstash, despite having had some rough games to start it off, you know that they want the victory royale. They're currently in 41, so 41th place on the leaderboard, which isn't in qualifying range for the upper bracket. They have 30 points, and they need 66 just to get to top 25 right now, but it's going to keep increasing after this match ends. So they honestly need to go for the victory royale here. If not, at least make a top 10, top 5, which could push them into qualifying range for the upper bracket tomorrow. But they're on the edge right now, Jacob. This could be bad.
Yeah, I can't speak for every game, but game 3, that threshold increased by about 27 points. From games 3 to game 4, going into this one, it increased again by another 11 or so points. So you gotta guess that threshold's gonna increase anywhere between maybe 10 to 25 points on this next game. So that should be at least something, a goal for a lot of these teams that are below that threshold on that leaderboard. We see Pink, Vico. A little bit of a whole different strategy that we really haven't seen them or anybody else do. Just going on top of the Mount Olympus statue, one of the highest elevations on the entire island, which could be useful for Surge.
You just sit up there with double Thunderbolt of Zeus, just throwing beams from the top. Moppy, though, gotta be careful here. Got into a little duel as he got cracked, now forced to pop the minis. Has bigs, has chug splashes. Not as much danger anymore as they're able to recuperate that shield, but you have to be careful. The pressure is on in this last match. Scrapped Skrill are going to be the ones applying that pressure as Kiro's crouched behind his ramp there. And so far, no big shots connecting. but there's even a potential third party hiding in the outskirts.
And Teensy just on the outside with Panzer. Something we've seen them do at least once or twice on the day so far. Third party, as soon as they hear a lot of shots, even a knock in the feed, that's when they begin to try to move in. But another opportunity prevents himself with these players trying to disengage. Teensy lets his presence be known. He knows one of them has at least no shield. That's Shrap, and he's immediately trying to get in. Shrap goes down. Panzer on Teensy's duo is able to get the knock and the elimination quickly cleaned up, which is kind of what they came for. Now it's all about greed. If they show it or not, do they want more, or do they try to disengage and stay alive?
That's the big question. Being the last match, you'd hope they don't get too greedy here. But it could pay off if they're able to get enough loot from it. I saw Nako close by. I believe he's actually just outside the cutoff right now in 28th place. Just 3 points away. 2 points, actually, from the cutoff. So if they're playing for consistency to get in that upper bracket again, they don't need to get too many points. Like you said, maybe 20 points this match. Just making it to the late game should be more than enough. Shinyo Noah, though, wanted to get that forecast tower, and it looks like it's going to be free. You can see there. Not contested at all. So they do have vision of the zones before they appear now.
Yeah, even though they have 92 points, they start this game in about 20th place, so they're inside that bubble. They have a little bit of a cushion. They can solidify another upper bracket appearance here with a nice place game, or just go straight to the grand finals. We see Vanyak and Swizzy at least cleaning up one of those eliminations. They know the other player just kind of try to disengage, get on out, but there's a whole nother team moving on over to the island just west of Brawler's Battleground. And this is where all that information is going to be given. Vanyak looked like he was momentarily trying to build up, but chooses not to. And you can see where that solo they were looking for, Pixel, all the way in the back of the island. No safety of zone if it does start to pull in.
DMR in hand. Just looking for an opening here. Being on the edge of zone, like you said. I mean, the good news is the zone has closed towards them, but edge of the map, I mean, can be difficult to find a lot of players, especially if it's more of the uncongested side, which I believe they're at right now without too many players in the area. So if it continues pulling south here and they don't have enough damage, it could lead to a bit of danger, but they've got an elimination. Chicho's back on his base once again. The routine continues.
I've seen really in play exactly what kind of Levin was breaking down. When you grab the edit for these cones, you're able to see right through them. So it minimizes the chances of you getting tagged if anybody else is built up to a very, very similar elevation. And this has been the Trulex and Chicho game plan almost all day long. This is how they're gathering Surge, building that cushion so they can be a little bit more flexible with their game plan and the next couple of rotations after this.
Nice shot from Chicho, 97. Quick headshot. We'll see, though. Pink and Vico, we know they love their aggression. And it's continuing even in the last match of the day, which is their last shot today to make grand finals. Will Vico and Pink. I've got a good feeling, actually. I've got a good feeling about this duo, Jacob. They definitely have the potential to make it happen. And something's telling me that they might just do it. Taking a look at the leaderboard here. They are technically the #1 team right now, not counting the ones that have already qualified through the Victory Royale. So that's all that's left for this duo.
And if you remember going back to last major, when they actually qualified, it didn't necessarily look the cleanest. It was a huge clutch by Pink in the end game, not letting it go down to the heel off. So it doesn't surprise me too much that they're waiting to the 5th and final game, or even if Frankie predicts going all the way down till Sunday, because throughout the qualifiers, this team did not get a ton of VRs. In fact, they only had one throughout both of the qualifiers. Their strategy doesn't revolve around getting that big win. It revolves about playing consistent, which is kind of what you see in a lot of the grand finals style lobbies, not necessarily the semifinals.
Is that a monkey or is that a llama on the top of the tree there? Climbed all the way up.
Hey.
Sorry to change the topic there, but you're right.
See it though.
Yeah, that's the question. Will they be able to find it? I mean, to go back to your point though, Jacob, that's an incredible performance for grand finals. If they can maintain that consistency, which I know they can. But like you said, with the winner takes all format here, day one, even if they don't qualify, it is going to end up with an opportunity to qualify through consistency. And I know that they're more than capable of it. So this could just be a big brain play, Jacob, where they just want more practice. They say, you know what? Let's play all 3 days of semis. We'll qualify last day through consistency. We'll be more warm, more ready for the grand finals. Or they could just end up taking home a game today. You know, that would work too.
Have the rest of the weekend off. Get to watch, get to plan. You know you already got your drop spot claimed. I can kind of see teams playing more games out this weekend, but it's just too big of a risk that I personally wouldn't take, but you definitely wouldn't see me in the semifinals anyway, so that's a moot point. But what I mean by that is, like, yeah, okay, you don't qualify here today. You play tomorrow thinking, I'm going to get more games in. Things don't go your way. You end up in the bottom half, and then you could see yourself in the lower bracket round 3 for all anybody knows, because all it does take is kind of one slip up, one bad day of games, and it kind of costs you everything. So I just would hope nobody really kind of uses that strategy. Even though you would get a ton of practice, it does put a lot on your nerves.
That's true. The pressure will be on your shoulders if that does end up happening. And like you said, day 2 lowers can be the end. Wait a second here. We got a lot of players that like being in trees, apparently, not just the llamas. And Sky knows that he's got a player right below. I'm trying to think, why don't they just jump on his head? And there it is. They were thinking exactly what I had in mind. Unfortunately, though, not a single shot connects off the bat. But after that, waterbending Mythic in the box, up close and personal, used to knock down an opponent, and they're not done yet.
You kind of foreshadowed that one. You called the llama a monkey. Out of nowhere, Sky and Scroll just jump down from the trees above, get the first knock. And you can see they're just playing very, very careful, not biting off more than they could chew. Sky even spots out his opponent through the cone, knowing exactly where he's at, which led Scroll feel comfortable as soon as he drops down, disengages, to go on the chase because they know that he's now a solo. This could be another easy elimination. Sky cuts off the path on one side. 120 with the first shot makes an easy cleanup for the follow-ups. Sky and Scroll just thinking outside of the box above the tree.
What a way.
Wow.
To, not use the Chain of Hades. The attempt was there. I saw the vision. The execution, on the other hand, was not exactly on par. But you never know. Pablo Wingu, Bevis, taking a little detour. Pit stop on the train tracks here, as they have popped their last med kit.
So they're going to be able to get a good position in the zone, and if they keep riding this train, you see him hopping off, just getting as many materials as possible. You can see he's down to the bare minimum. The train will kind of swerve upward, and I expect around that corner them to kind of jump off the train, take the north side of the zone. But again, it's a free rotation, which is huge, because then they're able to save the Flowberry Fizz for a later day.
This looks like they're on a mission right now. They've got the players on the edge of zone they can even take pop shots at. Question is, when do they want to get off? Do they want to go all the way up north? I don't know if you're going to make it back on the train now. I got the dashes. Okay. Still, Bevies.
Wait,
hold on, Bevies. You lost your duo partner. The train's too quick. You got to take another pit stop. You might be able to cut off the route here. Can he make it in time? Put your thoughts in the chat right now.
He didn't buy his ticket. They kicked him off. He had to buy his ticket at the next stop. From a team that's just having fun on the train to a team that's earning every single point, because they're not even in the bubble of going to tomorrow's upper bracket. Malibu and Mustache finding an opportune elimination on top of Rift Island, which really turns the tide in their favor, because you can see Dre kind of stuck on the side of Rift Island by himself now.
Trying to take a look at the surrounding area around Rift Island. Looks pretty standard so far. Marius, though, Sangild put into a nifty situation here as Sangild's completely cracked. No shields as well to recuperate what they've lost. All they got are weapons. Not even a Flowberry to make it into zone easier.
Okay, this
so
is
they
scary.
will have to do.
This
have
is
a
scary.
safer rotate. Yeah.
Not only is it scary that the fact that they have nothing. They have nothing. Barely have weapons. But it's more so that he does have that underworld Harbinger SMG, which leads me to believe that he does have the Siphon Medallion. And throughout the qualifiers, Marius exactly put up some huge plays, got some huge position and huge placements because of that Underworld Medallion. And even though they don't have any heals, you see no shields, no HP to regain, that could be a huge turning point for Marius if he could start to pick up refresh after refresh.
There is so many duos in the surrounding area. Train has even pulled up to Reckless Railways now. You can see the amount of... I'm trying to see on the minimap if I see them. Might have pulled up with a surprise. But with so many players close by and not even that many materials, Raban now above as well. Marius either has to completely disengage here, which is like he's doing, or they kind of have to find some action. They do have more time to reform here, so they can recuperate their materials. All they really needed is enough to be able to have a box fight or any sort of engagement.
Yeah, we saw where this loot came from early on in the game. That was where they jumped down from the tree, got the elimination. 30 below though for Marius and Sandguild. From 4 above, continuously dropping. 93. It's going to take more than just one shot this time around. And it's continuously getting worse. 117. There's really nobody in sight. It's only going to be the teams that are going to try to gatekeep him from zone, but it's Trulex. Trulex is actually down. I don't see Chicho anywhere. So a big question is if they're still in the game at all.
Only time will tell. As Sandguild's going to get boxed up, but he says, no, my journey's not over yet. 164 pump, taking out Bevies. Now with just 15 HP left, pops the med kit. Pablo is left alone.
Wow, is all I've really got to say. That is how you stay alive from one fallen scrap to loot to causing another one. Now they're able to gain a little bit of elevation, but Marius ends up on the wrong side. Targeted, he's going to be Sandguild. Can't really lend a helping hand just yet. He's just trying to get his teammate out, but Marius goes down. Water bending ability, just bleeding shots through the build. Sandguild down to just 13 HP. A focus now coming in from multiple teams and players in the lobby that has slowed down, and that's just enough seconds for him to get the med kit off.
Drew Robin gonna take out Vortex. Now Pablo still up above, or still up and running. He is below though, picking up that medallion. Getting the spare loot from that elimination, trying to drop down those opponents. 238 above the Storm Surge threshold. Looking healthy in terms of materials, loot. But it's difficult to clutch it out as a solo, especially if you're looking for that VR.
See him just trying to run up. He's already in zone, but he knows he is a solo. He was the one who got that first knock on the Marius. Now he seals the deal, taking down the full duo, sending them back to the lobby in the last and final game. And they started this one in 12th place, so they are inside of the bubble. You got to imagine Marius and Sandguild are able to hold on to their spot on that leaderboard.
Yeah, most likely will make it to the upper bracket and compete again tomorrow. But we still have that one slot in the grand finals for today. So I'm curious who's going to be taking it. Chicho, DMR in hand. Not a lot of HP to work with. He's got a full shield though. But with only 32 above, now 21 below, the pressure's on.
He has a great position. He's already in zone, but he's not going to be able to survive. Well, I might have spoke too soon. Storm Surge almost instantly turns off, but he gets shielded down to just 9. He can get some of it back, but not much thanks to the minis. Still 14 HP. Chicho just going through the ringer right now with another team knocking on the door. Chicho just trying to get out, down to just wood. That's going to show a sign of weakness for anybody that wants to try to get aggressive.
Flowberry Fizz getting popped now, going to recuperate all of his shield here. But like you said, they know that he's in wood. They know he's low on materials. So in theory, they could just keep taking shots, especially if they had some sort of water bending mythic or anything that doesn't require ammunition. But it looks like he's got a bit of time to breathe now. But for how long?
Yeah, only time will tell. Luckily for him, already in zone, safe as can be. As you see, Robin and Jude just getting aggressed on by Dre. He gets knocked instantly. Darky's at the door, still trying to knock. Well, they're going to let him in all right. They're going to let him in and just take him right back on out. 2 straight eliminations with ease, and nobody really even noticed it. You saw no shots coming in from the distance, no lobby focus at all. So that is going to be all their loot and time to think about the next rotation.
Moppy looking comfortable here. Not in zone, but hitting some nice shots to just continue with the rotation here. Banana made to good use. Scroll close by. And there's Merstash and Malabuka. They need a strong finish here. They have not had a great day, starting off with almost 3 games getting E-limbed off spawn. They almost made it to late game in one of them, but they were unable to close it out. Now this is the furthest we've seen them up. So they really have to make it all happen here.
383 above. They were able to actually get a hold of the Grim Gate loot.
Ooh.
The medallion, and you see Merstash in possession of the Mythic Gatekeeper. 372 above the damage threshold. A little bit of a pull when it comes to the next zone, but with that medallion, the Flowberry Fizz, I feel like they're going to stagger themselves, wait a little bit, and then dash towards the front side of zone, and once again try to solidify that high ground underneath their own control.
They're looking strong here, Jacob. They're looking like they have the potential to take home this match. Grimgate loot, good shield, good mats, even positioning with the dashes. It makes it 10 times easier to make it into zone and continue to rotate while conserving those materials. So their dashes are coming through. You can see them flying. There's a big change in elevation for this zone though, which could cause some trouble for players on the lower end of it. But so far the zone has closed in between both, so this first rotation should not be too much trouble for a majority of the duos.
Yeah, especially since it's coming off of the high ground. Pink Vico, they're going to make their way there, create some distance between them and the lowest point on the map. 209 above the damage threshold. Really not too much to worry about. They're looking towards the backside of the zone, trying to take advantage of anything, as Pablo finds a huge amount of shield but sacrifices some HP. Not very much when it comes to those builds though.
Nice job of getting into the edge of zone here. 2 boxes built out. A little bit more safety, but with the big pot gonna have to be used, and a player having just gotten eliminated right outside his box. The eyes are on Pablo right now. Their opponents don't know how low he is, but does not matter as they get right in, get that elimination. Vico has lost Pink as well. Now left as a solo. 17 duos are up.
Now it's time for Vico to return the favor of last major. It was Pink who clutched up, qualified them in day 1. But he's just literally down to the bare minimum. 9 builds, 1 mini. Forced to recycle as much as possible. And he has a far pool up elevation. It's going to be a nightmare of a rotation for him. But on the other side, Dreamin' high in the clouds. Velry, Various, bro. 9th zone as well. It's usually up until this point. If you're able to hold on to it, you're in good position of this game. And you see how much space they built for themselves, extended outward, and they have that Flowberry Fizz just in case anybody starts to target them from below.
Which is exactly what's going on right now. Volko Vortexers trying to do what they can to drop it. If zone pulls back, they're going to conserve so many materials up above, but they get dropped now. Their tower crumbles down. Good news is they did have that Flowberry activated. They will not take any fall damage, but Sky and Scroll now are going to be building up.
Yeah, they planned that one perfectly. We've seen it a few times already here on the day. But somebody else has challenged him at the last moment. That's Hydro, and he goes down immediately. And that's a big refresh. You see the banana there as well, but Hootie, he's still trying to fight for revenge. Finally drops down, gives it up. Swizzy and Vanyak look towards the backside, tries to box up one. He's going to narrowly escape as well. A lot of opportunity slipping through the hands of some of these players that are looking for late game eliminations.
One duo now climbing back up on height. Vanyak, Swizzy though, they're popping that Flowberry. Is it to go down or is it to go up is the question. It's Vortexers Volko that have taken the clouds as now they apply pressure from above, dropping down because they were too high up though.
You see them just immediately building up. They want to maintain their position on the high ground. Fast Roki, 9 HP. He gets flanked, taken out. Robon's going to be stuck by himself. I've seen that Harbinger SMG change hands at least 3-4 times already in this endgame. With no builds left, Robon's just trying to go through unnoticed, but Swizzy's ready to take all challengers. Takes down Kiro, moving him and Vanyak up that leaderboard.
3 E-limbs onto Swizzy. Regroups now with his duo partner. Mid layer here, they have to be careful. There's thin ice down below. They cannot slip as they continue to tarp on forwards. As Merstash Malabuka, they're looking up top. They're looking at height. They're going for it. They have the dashes from the medallion. They have everything they need to come out on top. Volko now gets cracked. They have the advantage. Banana getting dropped down to heal up. Can they maintain it, though? Just 4 builds to work with.
Better late than never, I always say. They're waiting to the last possible moment. Swizzy going wild. Panzer goes down. Vaniac trying to play hero, but he gets eliminated. Merstash dropping down to play Disruptor, letting Malibuca play for the heal-off scenario, but it's no. They both given it up. They're both on the low ground, and they're both down to just HP.
Flowberry needs to be popped here. They have to recuperate their shield. It's Howley who dropped down from above. Now all the action is on the mid ground from low to up top. The players are just in an ultimate battle as Merstash now has recuperated a good amount of shield, good amount of HP, but they don't have mats, Jacob. They need to find an impact.
All those materials were used to try to maintain their position on the high ground, and now they have no position on height. No builds on low. Merstash still trying to dash around, trying to cause some confusion. Malibuca goes down. Merstash trying to bounce around. Him versus El Teensy, and he gets the elimination, trying to stay alive. But with losing his teammate, high ground's a solo as well. But he has 6 med kits, more than enough for the win condition. So if Merstash wants to end up with a victory here, he has to go off.
It's turned into a solo FNCS. Merstash on low, Sky on mid, and Volko all the way up in the clouds. Sky has already started his heal off. Who has the most medkits? It's 6 medkits for Volko, and he starts using them.
Yeah. His heal off is going to start a little early. He has more than enough time to make it so. Sky starting it as well and takes down Merstash. It was his only hope, but he cancels the med kit, leaving Sky to go on a scramble where he cannot find Volko, and he wins the heal off with ease. Welcome to the EU FNCS Grand Finals, Volko and Vortexers.
There is only so much you can do when your opponent on high ground has 6 med kits and their upper hand in terms of positioning. But that was a great way to guarantee that victory royale. 5th match of the day, the last shot for day 1 to qualify to the grand finals, and Volko and Vortexers take that spot.
Throughout the qualifiers, they have shown the blueprint. They have shown glimmers of being one of the teams to be on the region. And now with a big win here in game 5, they get to rest. They get to rest up the rest of the weekend, watch the rest of the games play out, and prepare for next week, which is going to be the grand finals. But the big question here right now, Takada, Malibuca Merstash, 3rd place in that game. Did they get enough points to go to the uppers?
I think it's going to be enough. They were outside of the cutoff going into this match in 46th-ish. They were almost on the bottom of that leaderboard, but that's it for me and Jacob today. We need to know what just happened on that leaderboard. Frankie, what you got for us?